What's up, you guys? It's Rob here. Today we'll be talking about ticker symbol AMC. Just want to say right off the bat, I know we're all frustrated. I know we're all annoyed. I know we're sad. I know we're dealing with a lot of emotion right now. But you guys take a deep breath, and we got to remember not to get emotional when we're investing, because when we get emotional, it becomes a problem and we tend to make decisions that we really shouldn't be making when we're investing within the stock market. We really got to keep that in mind, because if we get emotional, the hedge funds are going to get the better of us. I got a little bit emotional yesterday because I'm getting tired of the FUD, and I just want to say I apologize about that, but definitely do have my moments kind of thing. But I am still diamond handing all my shares of AMC. I am still diamond handing all my contracts. I don't care if they expire worthless. I will hold them, and we'll take this to the moon. And I want to take this channel and you guys with the moon to the moon with me, because we all want our attendees. So just keep that in mind, guys. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's be patient. We 2 weeks ago, really a week ago, we wish we would be in this spot. Now we are in this spot and we want to be higher. We just got to be patient. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's get into let's hit that subscribe button. Let's hit that bell, turn on the notifications, and then absolutely smash that like button, because remember, we like the stock and we want the stock to go up. But let's go ahead and hop into the charts for today. I'm also going to cover one of the articles that came out today. It was another FUD article that I just want to point out that's absolutely ridiculous. And then we'll also cover the short interest on AMC. And then I'll also give you my theory of what I actually think might be going on here, because I think it's actually pretty important. But take a look at the day chart. So just to keep you up to date on the indicators that I'm using the VWAP, which stands for the volume weighted average price. Can't finish my sentence there. So basically, if you trade above the VWAP, you would normally make money from buying a share of AMC in that day. If you trade below the VWAP, you wouldn't make money from buying a share of AMC today. So since we pretty much traded below the VWAP the whole entire day, you more than likely did not make money on AMC, and it wasn't a profitable day for AMC essentially. I do have the moving average 200. I do have my exponential moving average 60 and 15. I have the 200 as more of a macro time frame, and then I have the 60 and 15 day exponential moving averages as more of a micro time frame. Keep in mind, these are all lagging indicators, so they can't predict future upcoming movements, but they do help us give an idea of where the stock might be bullish or bearish kind of thing. So anytime we get the 15 EMA crossing over our 200 MA, that's a very bullish sign kind of thing. So you got to keep that in mind. But overall for the day for AMC, we finished down 5.99%, which is not good. The huge thing is that I want to just point out right here, I'm going to start drawing in our lines of support. So we have 1130 up here as our breakout area. And then what we have is we have a support here at 1050, right there. And then we do have our support down at $10. Now, the huge thing that I want to point out here is we actually did a good bit of consolidation here, kind of right around 1025, which is good. So we did find we found a little bit of comfortableness within the stock around 1025. Keep in mind that these support and resistances can be a little bit of a range. So it's not going to be exactly 1050 or 1130. It may be within a couple cents. So give a little bit of a tolerance on either side of it, kind of thing. So we did close at 1020. We did open at 1095. The huge thing is we keep getting these FUD articles. I'm going to hop over here. I'm going to kind of be a little bit all over the place, so I apologize about that. But we keep getting these FUD articles. This article was published today and literally says, opinion, should you buy AMC stock price? These analysts say not at its current price, which is kind of annoying because we keep getting these FUD articles. This was published today, April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here's what it would take to justify today's stock. So you just start reading all this, they read about the fundamentals of it, and it's basically a just FUD article of just consistently bashing AMC, talking about streaming services and how it's going to kill the movie theater and all that. It's going to kill the movies because Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO Max will just start releasing movies to their streaming services instead of giving it to the movie theater because that way they can have the revenue versus having it in a movie theater. Now, I'm no movie theater like junkie or anything like that, so I don't understand cinematography a lot, but I know that movies are shot in 24p, if I'm correct, which means it's 24 frames a second, which kind of gives it a different feel. Now, if we sit at home, our TVs have what's called a refresh rate of anywhere from like 60 hertz to 120 hertz kind of thing. So it's drastically going to be a different experience, bar none, of what we're going to see in the movie theater and what we're going to feel at home. It's not going to feel the same at all. I don't know. I mean, if you have a movie theater at home that is as great as sitting in an AMC IMAX, drop a comment down below. Let me know what your Twitter is so I can DM you so I can come over and watch movies at your place, because that would be awesome. Because watching movies on my TV that I have out there, I don't have a sound bar or anything for it, just isn't great. I will absolutely pay money to go see a movie. And they just keep bringing this argument up, and it's just utterly ridiculous that they think watching a movie at home is going to be the same experience as watching it in the movie theater. It's not going to be the same experience, and people keep saying it, and it's not going to be. So the whole thing is they keep saying that it is, and then you scroll down here, and then you get this part of my language is you just get this bull crap of the stock is not even worth $1. Do we remember the guy that said the stock is only worth like a penny and all that kind of stuff? Like, why? Like, why? Anyways, so we had this article came out today. So I feel like part of the reason why, because when people see, oh, well, the stock's only worth $1 kind of thing, they're gonna be like, oh, well, if it's worth $1 and it's trading at $10, I should sell my shares now because I'm getting 10x what it's actually apparently worth kind of thing. And a lot of people don't do the underlying research to understand the stock and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people sadly don't do that kind of stuff. So you got to keep that in mind, guys. So just be patient with it. But hopping back into the chart here, we did close at 1020, so we did close below 1025. The huge thing though is we didn't test that psychological and technical support of $10, which is awesome for the stock. Now, I'm going to skip the 5-day. We can take a look at the 5-day time frame. We can see that we had a nice rip. We got all the way up to 1222, and then we've started tearing back down. Now, I'm going to hop over here to the 1-month time frame because I really want to start focusing more on the macro time frames, because this isn't going to be something that's going to, the squeeze could possibly happen next week. It could happen in 2 weeks. It could happen in a month kind of thing. I really don't know when the squeeze could possibly happen, but all I want to say is, guys, we got to be patient. Investing in the stock market is really meant to be a long-term thing. And this squeeze might take weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to build. I mean, we can go back and we can look at the chart for GME and see how long it took and how slowly the stock grew before it went all the way up kind of thing. So we just got to be patient with this. So just keep that in mind. The huge thing that I do want to point out here on the 1-month chart immediately, the RSI is absolutely blown out here. It is sitting at 32.74. We are borderline oversold on the RSI. So we can't keep going down before we become oversold. So I don't want to say the bottom is here, but we could definitely see a little bit more down maybe. We might see $10. I don't know, but we can't really be going much further before we make another bounce. And every single time we've gotten to these kinds of points here on the RSI, you take a look at it, we bounce back up. We bounce back up. We bounce back up. So if we follow the same pattern that we have in the past, I think we're going to be due for a bounce back. So hopefully we get that tomorrow, going into the weekend, to just give us a little bit of positive momentum within the stock. But the huge thing also to take a look at is this MACD. Is we're overextended here on this MACD. We have a bearish indicator because the signal is above the MACD, so that indicates a bearish trend. We're also pretty overextended here, which means definitely been a little bit of a volatile day. I mean, when you move 6% in a day for a normal stock, that's a lot kind of thing. So not very good for our volatility. That's going to inflate our options contracts. So keep that in mind. The next thing that I really want to highlight is we are absolutely hugging our 200-day moving average here on the 1 month, 1 hour chart. We have the 60-day and 50-day moving averages hooking downwards. Now, if the 60-day and 15-day moving average cross over the 200-day moving average, that is going to be a very bearish signal for the stock. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I'm not going to fool you full of crap. So if these indicators do cross over this 200-day moving average and we do have a bearish MACD and we are sitting here on the RSI tomorrow, we're definitely going to be sitting in very bearish territory on more of a macro perspective. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop out here to the day time frame because personally this is one of my favorite time frames. You can see the 3 supports that I have already drawn out here at 11:30, 10:50, and then 10:25. So the next thing that I really want to highlight, oh, come on. Can we give it? Can you work with me? Thank you. All right. We're still above our 120-day moving average. We're still above our 60-day moving average. And we're sitting kind of pretty with our 15 EMA. So we're doing pretty good with the 3 moving averages on the day time frame. The huge thing that we do not want to do is have this 15-day EMA hook down and go below the 60-day moving average because that is going to be a bearish signal. And then if it hooks down, this would be an extreme move. It goes all the way down and intersects with the 200-day moving average, which is sitting at $5.77. So keep in mind, in the past 200 days, roughly 200 days ago, we were looking at $5.77 for this stock. So just keep that in mind. That is huge. So it's how it is. But the huge thing is our RSI sitting here at 50.71. So it's just a hair above neutral. We still do have a bullish indicator here on the MACD on the day chart, which is good. We are getting close to touching the signal and crossing over it and going back into that bearish territory and going back below the equilibrium. So that wouldn't be good. But if I had to say tomorrow, what are our targets? What am I going to be looking for in the stock? The first thing that I'm going to be looking at is 1025. What are we going to do with 1025? Are we going to break through it? Are we going to get above it? Okay, great. What are we going to do with 1050? Are we going to break through 1050? Claim it as support? Great. That's the next checkbox kind of thing. 1130 is our breakout zone. If we get up to 1130, we can really start running. And then after that, I'm going to be looking at 1190 because in the past here, we have had several points of resistance. We've been rejected here. We've been rejected here. And then if we zoom out a little bit more, we were rejected here too. So 1190 would be the next point after 1130. Now, if we want to look at a bearish perspective, because I do want to give both sides of this, and I hate being bearish on these kinds of things, but I got to be because we got to think stocks go both up and down. So got to keep that in mind. So I'm going to draw a support here at $10. So if tomorrow we have another bearish day, I'm going to be immediately looking at $10. And then after that, I'm going to be looking down here at 925. And that's really one of the areas where we have a really strong support. Remember, 975 wasn't really that much of a strong support for us. It was really 925. Getting over that was a huge one. $10 is our technical and psychological support. So keep that in mind. The huge thing too that I do want to point out here, and it's definitely a pattern that I'm starting to see when looking at this day chart, is each time before we make a nice rip here, we normally establish ourselves a little bit of a base, and then we have a rip. So we did it here, we did it here, and we did it here. So we base, rip, tear down, base, little tiny bit of rip, and then base, rip. So what we might possibly be doing, and this is a huge thing I want to stress with you guys, and just be patient, is the fact that we might be just creating a new base before we rip back up. So just keep that in mind. It's going to take us some time. We still are doing pretty good with our trend line that we can draw out here on the day time frame. We have to draw it out a little bit more and drop down the angle a little bit, but we still are respecting a trend line and still moving in a general upwards direction. I mean, you can also say too that we are moving in a downwards direction, but we really haven't been moving in a downwards direction enough to make a descending level of resistance kind of thing. We have an ascending level of support. We have the moving averages moving up, so we definitely know we are doing a bullish move and we are moving up in a macro perspective. So the next thing that I really want to highlight on here is we'll go over in the Ortex. And Ortex is something that I have absolutely fallen in love with because it is absolutely amazing and it gives you so much information. So we can see here that there's one analyst that rates AMC at a buy, 4 at a hold, 4 at a sell, and then there's a target price of $4.44. Next thing that we can do is we can take a look at AMC's short interest. We can see AMC short interest dropped by 2.25% today, and our current short interest or free float is 22.74. And our current short interest is 95 million, and the last reported to the exchange was 93.89 million. And our current shares on loan is 150 million, roughly 70,000 kind of thing. So why is our shares on loan lower, but our utilization still pegged at 100% and our cost to borrow is still high and our days to cover is still really high? Why is that, Rob? Well, I'm going to tell you because it's part of my theory of why I think we're seeing AMC go down. And what I think is happening is we are seeing, let's just use an example. We have Joe that works at a hedge fund says, hey, broker, I want to take out a short position in AMC. I want to take out 2 million shares of a short position. Has to pay the cost to borrow fee. Joe decides, okay, right, well, Joe can hold on to that. He doesn't have to establish a short position. So he can hold on to those 2 million shares and say, hey, I'm going to wait for the right time and then I'm going to short the stock. So Joe can hold on to those 2 million shares. He still has to pay that cost to borrow fee annually, though. So you got to keep that in mind. Well, you have, let's say, Susie over here at hedge fund B that says, oh, well, I have a current short position and I want to short the stock more kind of thing. So, but there's no more shares that I can short. So Susie might call up Joe and say, hey, do you have any AMC shorts on loan that you currently aren't using? And Joe says, yeah, I do actually. I have 2 million of them and I'm not sure if I want to use them or not. So Joe returns them back and then Susie says, great, I'm going to take them kind of thing. And then Susie uses them. So that's another thing. The other thing that we might also be seeing is instead of Susie getting the 2 million shares, Joe just says, I don't want the 2 million shares. I don't want to use them right now because this whole short thing that's going on right now, I don't really understand it. I don't really want to get my hands into it because I don't want to pay a crap ton of money because I don't want to have what happened to Melvin Capital happen to me kind of thing. So that might be the reason why Joe might say, okay, hey, exchange, here's my 2 million shares, but I want them on a snap of a finger kind of thing. So I'm going to return my 2 million shares. But see, when you return 2 million shares and you say you want them, they're still going to, the exchange is still going to say, hey, Susie, there's 2 million shares available. That's the reason why we're seeing these 3.62 million shares that are being borrowed and then seeing a larger return number of essentially 7 million. So we have a negative 3.36 million. So I believe that's what's going on because our utilization hasn't changed. Our utilization is still at 100% and our cost to borrow is still going up. So there's definitely some shorts saying, I don't know necessarily if I want to use my short position and paying, let's say 6% a year annually. I don't know if I really want to pay that much. So I'm just going to return the shares back to the exchange. And then I'm going to tell the exchange that I want them when I can get them like immediately kind of thing. But the exchange is going to still say, well, I have 2 million shares, and then it's going to go over to someone else. So that's personally my theory of what's going on here with AMC and the short interest and the reason why we're seeing it kind of drop. And that's really the huge thing that I think that's going on here is we're seeing these kind of shorts that might possibly be holding these short positions and are just saying, I don't want to do this. And then the shares go and get used by someone else. And then Susie uses them and shorts the stock. So I think that might be what's going on here. Let me know down in the comment section. am I totally crazy kind of thing? Because I think this is something that possibly is going on within AMC. And I think that's the reason why we have this negative 2.25% short. And the huge thing, and this is what really confuses me, is you have these two lines. The estimated short interest or free float is the yellow line. The red line is the shares on loan. And then this green line all the way down here is the days to cover. So the days to cover is going up, but the shares on loan is going down. So what that is telling me is that shares on loan is going down, and the shorts that are actually being used are being put in, which is causing it to become longer to cover kind of thing. So Susie is shorting the stock because Joe just says, it's too risky for me, I don't want to do it kind of thing. Susie's like, I love risk, I eat risk, shorts kind of thing. So I don't know, like, let me know down in the comment section. I'm sorry, this video is probably a little bit on the long side. I'm a little bit ranty here, but it definitely is something that I think is going on. And if you guys made it this far, like, do me a favor and just drop a bunch of diamond hands down in the comment section, because you guys are absolutely phenomenal and you guys are the people that are here to support the channel no matter what. And I love each and every single one of you guys. Also, if you do want 2 free stocks down below, I do have my Webull referral link. You do get 2 free stocks when you join Webull. One when you sign up and your account's approved, and then the other when you deposit $100 on the platform. So it's a great way to support the channel. I do get a free stock as well when you use my referral code too. The only thing that I ask is that you drop the free stocks that you get down in the comment section below. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.